Hey, Phil Mutry here, and welcome to Childhood Memories Part 1. As you can see behind me across the street here, it's a nice little quiet brand new survey, probably about 10 years old. But for me as a child, what used to be there was South Public School, and is where I went to school growing up from kindergarten. And for anybody from kindergarten up to about grade 5, before I left that school and went to another school that we're going to see in part 2 called North Public School, that they're actually ripping apart right now. And you know, for childhood memories, it's really sad to see things go. But every time when I drive by here or I frequent the area, it brings back some pretty neat memories. And I'm going to share a few with you today. And like I said, behind me used to be South Public School. And for anybody that is on my Facebook friends list that used to go to South Public School, it'll probably bring back some really good memories to you too. And if you don't mind, for those who have some great memories of South School, is after you watch this presentation, this video, it'd be great to hear your comments and some of the memories that you had from South School. It'd be totally amazing to hear your comments and your memories as well. And one thing that I want to bring back was, as children growing up, and especially in the school, we had a school theme, and what all the kids had was a red shirt, and it had like a devil's face on it, and we were called the South Red Devils. And you know, it was something I was pretty proud of as a kid. You know, growing up, I had to wear those red shirts, South Red Devils. But it was also the past memory of having my first girlfriend. Yes, my first girlfriend. And actually just on this far corner over here was the front entrance of the school, and just around the front entrance of the school there was a set of bushes that went all the way up to the other entrance of the school, and that was where actually most of the students would go to kind of hide to get their little kiss or little pecks, and that's actually where I had my first kiss. And no, it wasn't a Frenchie by all means, it was a little peck back and forth. And just over the last side, way over on this side, kind of get to where you can see, is over on this side used to be the playground, where they used to have it used to be a red tube slide, and they had a tire swing there. And just next to that tire swing there was where my first girlfriend and I, we puppy love. We picked up a stone and we carved a heart in there, and we put Phil loves Monique. And that, you know, it brings back some really cool memories, as well as just on this very corner here used to be the big portion of the fence, and it actually was the ballpark area. And for anybody who used to go to South School, would remember in the winter time that Mr. Doherty, the principal, would bring out the fire hose, and the kids would help as well. And we bored a great big ice rink, and we make an ice rink every year at winter time, and a lot of us would come down at nighttime and we play ice hockey. And just down from there, actually in the middle of this street here, there used to be a bush, and it was a pussy willow bush, and it was a little old furry things. And I remember taking 2 of them. I was probably in grade 3, and I put them in my nose and I started making a funny face, and somebody come up behind me and kind of startled me. And what happened was I went like that and I stuffed them right up into my nose. I tell you, trying to get those things out. I remember my mother and father, they would put I think they put Vaseline or something like that, but they were way up there, and eventually they came out. But a lot of frustration there. As well as when I was in school, probably grade 3 in about the same year, Darren Preston, if Darren Preston actually watches this video, he'll remember this one. I decided that it would be a good idea to stick a screwdriver in an electrical socket. Yeah, that's quite the memory. I tell you, quite the shocking experience. And kindergarten. How could I ever forget Miss Somerville's class? Miss Somerville, she was a great kindergarten teacher, and the biggest memory of kindergarten was the warships. They had these wooden warships, And I tell you, every time when it came to play period, being able to play with the toys, that would be where I would go to. I would go to the warships. It was totally amazing. I just love that. I love those warships. And as well as, who could forget the principal, Mr. Doherty, right? Actually, the screwdriver that I put in the electrical socket, that was Mrs. McDonald's class. Yeah, so that would have been grade 3, Mrs. McDonald. Yeah, I'll never forget that. That was a shocking experience, let me tell you. But Mr. Doherty, our principal, for anybody that remembers Mr. Doherty, man, he had the most miserable look on his face, and just watching him come down the hallway, it would be like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not in trouble, because, man, I tell you, he was good with the strap. He loved giving the strap, and thank God I never got that thing, because from what I understand, he would really wallop a good hand with that thing. So, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on and your memories of Mr. Doherty for anybody who remembers South School. Also good friends, you know. I made some good friends through public school. Some I see every once in a while. Just to name a few, there was Louis Friesen. Louis Friesen was a great guy. Johnny Mole, he used to live just over on the other street over here, right beside Bonnie's. Jerry Bizot. Jerry Bizot, I know he has his own business right now. I believe he paints. He does painting for houses. He used to live just up the street here. Andrew Bryce. Let's see. It was Andrew Bryce and Dave Gill. Dave Gill was actually my best friend throughout public school. Amazing gent. He used to live over past the fairgrounds. That's actually behind the camera. And many more. That's just to name a few. But made some really good friends in public school, and friends that I still see today, all growing up and working in different places. Some have their own business, etc. And for anybody, remember Bonnie's convenience store. Bonnie's convenience store was awesome. Back when you could get a bottle of Coke, a bottle of Crush, back when they had the bottles for like 35 cents. Can't get a pop now for 35 cents, that's for sure. It's like $1.49 in a plastic bottle. But they used to have the old Coke machine. You used to walk in, open the lid, grab yourself a Coke or a Crush or a Mountain Dew, 35 cents. Another thing that I remember too about Bonnie's is they used to get these little plastic soldiers, and they had a parachute. They were a dime. And we get like about 3 or 4 of them. We'd come to school, and in the playground, we'd kind of fold them all up, throw them up in the air, and watch them float down. Those were amazing. And those candy raspberries, they were one of my favorites. Penny a piece. You could fill up a whole candy bag for like $1. How much candy can you get in a little baggie now for $1? Not very much. You might get a little bit in the bottom. But the memories that this brings back. And this concludes basically my childhood memories part 1. For anybody watching this video that remembers South School and attended South School, I'd really love to hear some of your memories of what you thought growing up in South School, and whether they're good or bad or funny. First girlfriend, first kiss, got in trouble, or anybody who got the strap from Mr. Doherty. I'd love to hear that, because I'd love to hear that experience. I never got it, but I did when I got to Elgin School. Mr. Churchill gets up on the top of that chair, jumps down, and gives you a whack. I remember that. I experienced it, and it wasn't fun. So that was with Larry Kixey. Larry Kixey, if you're watching this video right now, you remember that. You remember that. Throwing the snowball? Yes. So I'd love to hear your experiences in South School, and we'll come back with part 2. And we're going to go over to North Public School, where they're actually ripping that down. I attended that in grade 6, actually the end of grade 5, and through grade 6 before going over to Elgin School, which I say was a prison. But anyways, not North Public School, but Elgin School was a prison. But we'll get there probably in part 3 or part 4. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Anybody who attended South School, I'd love to hear your memories. Talk soon.